Hey, friends. Given the technical difficulties from yesterday, I wanted to essentially just wrap up the sermon. I was really having a lot of fun getting a little nerdy about the Bible as we were kicking off our first week of the series Taboo Talk, but never really got to the whole point of what I wanted to say by the time the second Zoom crash happened, at least on my end. It sounds like there was some good conversation that happened while I was frantically, on the outside of the Zoom trying to get back in. But just to wrap a few things up, as we were talking about the Bible as something that is taboo, something that is taboo for a lot of us, especially who are more progressive and see ourselves as progressive Christians. When we've seen the Bible used as a weapon to hurt so many people, maybe hurt you yourself, but especially throughout history to justify slavery, enslaving folks and ripping them away from their homeland, to justify genocide, white supremacy, colonialism, misogyny, sexism, queerphobia, transphobia, homophobia. So many of the sins in our world have really been used, or have the Bible has been used to back those up, and it becomes a hurdle for a lot of us. And it's easy just to say, I'm going to take that Bible that I got for confirmation as a kid, I'm going to stick it in a cupboard, and I'm never going to look at it again. That's tempting. It's also taboo, if you're not in a progressive circle, in a church circle at all, to talk about the Bible in general, especially because strong fundamentalists, religious right folks use the Bible so often. I think in just the general culture in the US right now, if you just bring up the Bible, someone's going to think that you're bringing it up to back up one of those sins I just mentioned. Being a misogynist, being a white supremacist, being someone who's full of homophobia. So the question really, I think, really boils down to this: like, why is there progressive Christianity with the way the Bible has been used? How can some people be progressive and still love the Bible? How and why? Why do we even care? When I was in seminary, I was in a New Testament class, and Professor Stan Saunders, professor of New Testament, who is just awesome. I absolutely love that guy. One of my classmates, feeling a little overwhelmed, which can happen a lot in seminary, asked Dr. Saunders, "Hey, like, how on earth, in just the 3 years we're in seminary, learn all about the Bible, especially when we have to learn all these languages like Hebrew and Greek, and then we have to learn about preaching and pastoral care and Christian education and all these classes that you're meant to take to prepare you for ministry." It does feel overwhelming. And Dr. Saunders just kind of grinned, and he's a pretty chill guy, kind of leaned back in his chair and crossed his arms, and he said, "My job isn't to teach you all everything about the Bible. My job isn't to make sure you have all the answers about the Bible. My job is to make you so curious. My job is to make you fall in love with Scripture so deeply that you will continue to go back to it. Love and out of curiosity over and over and over again for the rest of your life." And I see that as something I can do as your pastor. I hope that there can be a way that we can look at the overall theme of the Bible, which to me is that the theme is that God is a God of the oppressed. God is a God of love and liberation. And that same God empowers and equips people to have a new imagination as they imagine a new way of doing life together. As we look at the big picture of what the Bible is doing, but also as we look at small stories, look at a chapter here and a chapter there. My hope is that I can be someone who can inspire so much curiosity in you. I know that maybe I think too much of myself for even saying this, but that I can inspire, as your pastor, so much curiosity in you and so much love of this weird ancient group of books that you will continue to go back to it over and over and over again your entire life. That you will see that maybe there's more reason for hope and an ability to strengthen your faith and make it even deeper, not by ignoring the Bible, but by going more in depth with it, by wrestling with it. It's tough, learning as much as you can, having conversations with other people about it, and maybe, just maybe, you'll start to see what I've seen over the past several years. that this book isn't just another ancient writing that's been used to do some really horrific things, but it's actually a book about liberation. It's actually a book not written by the victors, but by those who have been, quote, on the bottom. That is my hope. Is that we can find a new way to reclaim Scripture, new ways of understanding those verses and those stories that have caused so much harm, that we can see the Bible as actually as good news and not as a weapon, that our questions, our curiosities, and our love for creation, for humanity, for God will be deepened and inspired by going back to the Bible over and over and over again. In the name of the triune God of faith, hope, and love.